Okay, so Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Insha Freelancing Wali and I am a student at Rehan School our campus. Today I am going to conduct interview with guests. So आज हमारे साथ मौजूद है माया. Okay, so let's start.
Hey there.
Hi Maya.
Hi. It's good to hear from you. How's your Monday treating you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm Maya. I'm your creative collaborator, and if I remember correctly, your best friend. Did you have a sudden case of amnesia, or are you just testing me?
Okay. What is wood?
Well, that's a big question. Depending on who you ask, it could be anything from a perfectly ripe mango to the feeling of finally hitting a goal you've been working toward. What's something that's been feeling good in your world lately?
Why was wood important in early civilization?
You're very welcome. I think you might be thinking about our chat regarding wood and how it helped people in the early days, right? Since good is a pretty broad word, I want to make sure I'm on the right track. Are you asking why having good resources like sturdy wood was so important for early humans?
Why did people get wood in action times?
That's a fascinating way to put it. If you're talking about how people became good at things like mastering tools or survival, it usually came down to necessity. When things are tough, you either figure out a better way to do them or you struggle. It's that mix of trial, error, and a lot of curiosity that turns a basic skill into something great. Do you think people are more creative when they're forced to solve a problem?
Okay, my next question is where did people get wood in how did people use wood for collectors?
For the first part, early humans just looked to the force around them. They used whatever trees were native to the region. Now, the wood for black part has me curious. Are you thinking about using wood to make charcoal for fire and drawing, or maybe something else entirely?
Okay, my next
I'll be here.
question. My next question is why was wood useful for making tools?
Wood was kind of the ultimate multitasker back then. It's strong enough to hold a shape, but easy enough to carve or bend if you have the right tools. Plus, it's lightweight, so you could actually carry your tools around without wearing yourself out. It was basically the building block for everything, from simple digging sticks to complex bows and arrows. Do you think we've lost some of that hands on creativity now that everything is made of plastic and metal?
Okay, my next question. Um, where did people? How did wood help people cook food?
I'm assuming you mean wood. Wood was the secret ingredient for early cooking because it provided the fuel for fire. Without wood to burn, there's no heat, and without heat, you're stuck eating everything raw. Once they had fire, they could roast meat or boil water, which not only made food taste better, but actually made it safer and easier to digest. It basically turned a struggle for survival into a real meal.
Okay, my
Do you
next.
have a favorite food that?
Okay, my
Oh,
next.
I just meant
Okay, my next question. What kinds of three were most useful?
I'm not entirely sure I follow. Are you asking about the three most important types of food for early humans, or maybe the three most common foods they cooked over wood fires?
Okay, my next question. Okay,
I'm ready.
no, okay. My next question is, why did people make boats from wood?
Because wood is naturally buoyant, it floats, which is a pretty great head start when you're trying to stay on top of the water. Early humans realized that if they could hollow out a log or lash together some sturdy branches, they could move much faster and carry more than they ever could by swimming. It opened up the whole world for them. Suddenly, they could fish in deeper water or reach entirely new lands.
Okay,
Do you think you'd have the guts to
okay,
bye for now?
my next question is, how did wooden wheels change transport button?
I'm a little lost here. Ginger buttons and a number 10. I'm not sure what we're making or doing. Could you tell me a bit more about what you mean?
Okay, my next
Camera. Wait, are we talking about how cameras work or are you
okay,
trying to take a pic?
my next question is, how did people protect food from rain?
That's a great question. Before refrigerators, people had to get really creative. They used things like salt to cure meat, dried their food in the sun, or even stored it in cool caves or underground pits to keep it away from the heat and pests. Some cultures even used smoke from those wood fires we were talking about to preserve things for a long time. Do you think you could survive on only dried or salted foods?
Okay, my next question is, how did wood help from?
You cut off a bit there. Were you going to ask how wood helped protect things or maybe how it helped them build something to keep the elements out?
Okay, my next question is, um, why was wood a easier to use than stone?
I have to be honest, I'm completely stumped on this one. I'm not sure what you mean by wood being a cell or how the dance tune fits in. Do you want to try explaining that in a different way?
Okay, my next question is,
I'm listening.
okay, my next question is, how did wood help farmers?
Wood was basically the backbone of early farming. Farmers used it to create the first plows to break up the soil and hoes for weeding. They also built fences to keep animals from wandering off or eating the crops and used wooden granaries to store their harvest safely. It really turned farming from a guessing game into a real system. Do you think farming would have even been possible without those early wooden tools?
Okay, my next question is, what wooden tools very used in farming?
The most used ones were definitely the plow and the hoe. The plow was used to turn over the soil and make it ready for seeds, and the hoe was perfect for clearing weeds and digging small trenches for water. They also used making the hard work of the field a little more manageable. Do you think you'd enjoy the physical work of farming, or does it sound like too much effort?
Okay, my next question is, uh, why was wood important? Why was wood important for hunting?
For hunting, wood was total game changer. It let people create distance between themselves and their prey. Instead of having to get dangerously close, they could use wooden spears to throw or bows and arrows to shoot from far away. It basically turned hunting into a strategic game of precision rather than just a risky scramble. Do you think you'd be a better archer or a better spear thrower?
Okay, my next question is, How did people protect
You were
wood
just
from rain?
I'm a little confused. Are you asking how people protected the wood they gathered, or maybe how they protected themselves using wooden tools? Let me know what you're thinking.
Okay, my next question is uh, how did people what furniture did people make from wood?
I think you're talking about early plumbing. Long before the pipes we have in our wells today, some early civilizations used hollowed out logs, like from cedar or other sturdy trees, to create water channels. They would carve out the center of the log to make a pipe and then connect them to move water from a spring or a river directly into their towns. It was a brilliant way to bring water to people without them having to carry heavy buckets all day.
Okay,
Does that sound like what you're?
how did wood help people build village?
Well, I'm a bit confused on this one. Are you thinking about how early people used wooden tools for medicine, like using sticks to apply treatments to a wound, or maybe something else entirely? Let me know what you mean.
Okay, my next question. My next question is why were wooden product important?
Because wood is one of the most versatile materials on the planet. Even today, we rely on it for things that are hard to replace. Think about the warmth of a wooden floor, the structure of a house, or even the paper you write on. It's sustainable, it's durable, and it has a natural beauty that plastic or metal just can't copy. It's basically the material that helped humans build civilization from the ground up. Do you have a favorite thing in your house that's made of wood?
Okay, my next question is how did wood help people travel?
Which part are you curious about? Since we've talked about a few different things, like the wooden pipes for water, the farming tools, and the bows and arrows, I want to make sure I'm explaining the right one. Which one were you wondering about?
Okay, my next question is what role did wood play in trade?
Wooden boards were like the shipping containers of the ancient world. They were used to build crates and pallets to keep goods organized and protected during travel. Plus, for a long time, a wooden board could actually serve as a record. People would scratch tallies or symbols into wood to keep track of how much of a product they were trading before paper was common. It made the whole process of buying and selling much more reliable.
Okay,
Do you
my
think you'd be good at
next
trading, or would
question is why did people make cars from wood?
I'll be honest, I'm totally lost on that one. I'm not sure who Carl Fromis is or how he fits into our wood conversation. Do you want to tell me more about him?
Okay.
Still here. I'm just hanging out, waiting to see what your next question is. What's on your mind? I'm all ears.
Okay, my next question is uh, why did people make car from wood?
Well, it's a wild image, right? Back in the very early days of cars, wood was one of the only materials that was easy to work with and strong enough to hold a frame together. Before we had the technology to mass produce steel or aluminum, they could absorb the shock of bumpy roads without snapping. Some of the earliest horseless carriages were basically just fancy wooden wagons with an engine slapped on the front. Can you imagine how loud and creaky a wooden car would be on a highway today?
Okay, my next question is, how did wood help crave?
Since there wasn't just one single wooden car, but rather a whole era of them, they didn't all have the same name. Most were just called horseless carriages back then because they looked exactly like the wagons people were used to, just without the horse. Later on, brands like Ford used wood in the frames of the Model T. If you're thinking of a specific one you saw in a video, tell me what it looked like and I can try to figure it out.
Okay, my next question is, what skills we needed to work with wood?
I'm guessing you mean wood again? To work with wood back then, you had to be part artist and part engineer. You needed a deep understanding of different types of trees, like knowing which ones were flexible for bows and which ones were hard enough for a plow. Then there was the actual skill of carving, sanding, and joining pieces together without the fancy power tools we have now. It took a lot of patience and a very steady hand. Do you think you'd have the patience to carve something by hand for hours?
Okay, my next question. Okay, my next question is, how
I'm ready.
how did children learn woodworking?
Assuming you mean woodworking again. Back then, children learned by doing. There were no textbooks or YouTube tutorials, so they'd just hang out with their parents or a local craftsman from a young age. They'd start with the small, simple tasks like sanding a piece of wood or helping hold something steady and gradually move up to more complex carving as they got better. It was all about observation and practice. Do you think you'd have learned better that way, or do you prefer having clear instructions to follow?
Okay, my next question is, why did different cultures use different kinds of wood?
It mostly came down to what was growing in their own backyard. Early civilizations didn't have global shipping, so they had to use the trees that were native to their land. People in the Mediterranean used olives and cedar because that's what was there, while people in Northern Europe relied more on oak and pine. Over time, they figured out which local woods were best for specific things, like using a certain tree for boats because it resisted rot, or
Okay,
another for tools because
okay, bye,
it was
Maya.
incredibly hard. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, so. Okay, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Laughing.